Cross the Line Radio.
I want to make this statement, right? No matter what, and the reason why I'm making this disclaimer, so everybody knows Polite's in jail. He's and to show you the level of narcissism, the level of insensitivity, the level of lack of compassion that he has for what he did to that young 14-year-old girl. He has been putting out videos. First, he initially put out a video where he made it seem like the charges was dropped. Then, of course, he goes to jail. Then he puts out a video the day after, again saying that the judges and all them agreed to drop the charges, which is giving the wrong impression. And shout out to, I'm gonna talk about fan base in a second too. And I think we got African priest coming in. One year Allah, you gotta let me know when he's coming in. And 1 year Allah, I need you to text my other number because I'm using this number, the other number for fan base. Let me see if I can find. Hold on 1 second. So he's been putting out those videos. So now I saw, I think I was watching Sanetta's channel, and this is kind of what sparked me to say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say this on Sanetta's channel, just in case anybody needs to hear it on his channel, because I don't want there to be any confusion. When I say any confusion, hold on. This is Captain Tazaryach. Text me here when he gets in. All right. So I don't want there to be any confusion. So there was a question asked to Sinetta, like something like, if Polite got out, would you do anything with him? And he made a statement that says something like, you never know. His wife, Nepal, said, no, we're not. He says, I could speak for myself. You never know. Right. So there's two things I want to address, and these things need to be addressed publicly. First thing, anybody from the time that he got convicted for perpetuity, anybody that associates, deals with, defends, or uses his influence, Captain Tazaryach will have no affiliation with him. It'll be like if you do any of those things I just mentioned, if you in the defending him, if you do dealings with him, if you promote him, if you do anything that gives Polite life, Captain Tazaryach, myself, would never associate with you because you'll be an enemy to me like Polite was an enemy to that young girl. That's how you get rid of that particular thing that seems to be able to plague the community, and we look for a way to forgive them and let them back in the community. For some reason, touching a child is something that is extremely allowed to get over. Touching a child is something that, okay, he did it and I'm angry, but I'm not still angry. That amazes me, the venom, the compassion that you have for a pedophile, but the lack of compassion that you have for the victim of the pedophile or the victim of the predator. So anybody, we could be like this, son. We could be like this, or we could be like that. If I see it or hear it, now I don't see every single thing that transpires. I'm not privy like that. But if I see or hear that you're with them, I will never affiliate with you again. And there is no warning with that. There is no warning with that. And I need to make sure that is clear because I see the same thing with Polite that I see with York. Y'all know to this day, York got people that are saying, I'm the son of Malachi York, even though he's not the son of Malachi York. I'm the daughter of Malachi York, even though he's not the daughter of Malachi York. Excuse me, she's not the daughter of Malachi York. And nobody wants to take that serious. So I just want to make sure that that's clear from my position. Second thing, for a while before this conviction of Polite, you had Sinetta, you had Maharakar, you had Sinetta's wife Nepal, you had other Israelites and other blackety black folks that the argument or what they was debating was is violating a wife lawful in the Bible? And y'all know what I'm referring to. I'm not going to say the word. Violating a wife according to war, that you can violate a woman, and according to Deuteronomy 22:28, that God ordains the violation of women. I have never seen that in the Bible, and I've been a staunch defender of those that promote that in the Bible. So what I want to highlight now, if those people are still saying that God allows you to violate a woman, then you support polite. Now let that sink in your head. Let that sink in your head, because remember, with those that teach that you can do that according to God and use Deuteronomy 22:28 as the scripture. Let me read Deuteronomy 22:28 because maybe people may not understand. In Deuteronomy 22:28, it says, if a man, is it Deuteronomy? Wait, I'm in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Salakia, let me get the right verse. Deuteronomy 22:28 says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. You have Sinetta, his wife Nepal. You have Maharakah. You have other Israelites that teach that this means you can violate a woman and God ordained it. All you got to do is go to the father and pay 50 shekels of silver. So if I'm to understand them properly, they shouldn't have an issue with what Polite did, because they teach that God said you can do this. Let that sink in your head. And we got to start looking at the psychological destruction in the black community of what we teaching and what we promoting. If you don't it's better, like the scriptures say. One of my favorite scriptures, I give it to my ribs all the time, so like it. One of my favorite scriptures in Proverbs, it says, this is Proverbs 17:28. It says, even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed of a man of understanding. You can bring the call on when you want. So I say that to say, all of y'all teaching that God ordains to go grab a woman and take her by force, you are co-signing what Polite did. And as I see you, and I'm just going to tell you, as I see you teach that subject, and the ones that I know for sure is the Sinetta, Nepal, Maharakah. Those are three I know prominently. Mahar so much that he debated Zion Lex on it and yelled in the camera, I'm gonna violate a woman according to the law of God. He said it just like that. So if you saying that God says you can lay hold and just take a woman by force, then you are condoning what Polite did to that woman. Now let that sizzle in your spirit. Let that sizzle in your spirit, sizzle in your heart. Do all of that. Y'all got to think about who y'all entertain. I was asked to debate. I was asked to battle on that subject. And I said no, because anytime you got to battle or talk to people about that subject, y'all should be thinking about the psychological damage that's involved in someone that teaches that God says you can do it. Just think about that, Akim. In Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter, that is not violating a woman. That's redeeming a woman. When you read it, it says, let her put off the raiment of her captivity, meaning let that woman heal from what happened. It does not say take her by force, and the paring and shaving her head is what she does. It's not what we do. Don't let nobody teach you that that's about violating. Those are sadistic men and women that teach that God ordained it, and you're no different than what Polite did. You didn't carry out the act. I'm not accusing them carrying out the act. But when I hear people say Polite was wrong for that, and those same people say God said you can do that, y'all give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear the hypocrisy of that. Just give me a 1. Give me a 1 in the chat if you, and that's on fan base. Shout out to fan base. Shout out to YouTube. And I think Bashar's still doing Clubhouse. So now y'all give me a 1 and be honest. Give me a 2 if it's different. And I'm gonna repeat it again. If you're saying that Polite was wrong for what he did with that woman, but then gonna battle men that God said you can do the same thing to a woman, tell me if that's not hypocrisy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. And this ain't no knock, because you know me and Sinetta is close. So this ain't no knock, but I need a wake-up call to be done as to what we allow to be taught and promoted, because babies are watching us. Other women are watching us. Other men are watching. So imagine a woman teaching that God said you can violate a woman by force. It's a woman teaching that. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Imagine a woman teaching that. Other women will believe when it happens to them, God said it's okay. Good.
Salaki, sir, if I may, this brings full credence back to Yaquab from HOI, who was also courting a 14-year-old a few years
That's
ago.
right. That's right.
So defended that brother.
Right. So and so this is my point. And then you got men doing that. So imagine, and